Hello everybody, and welcome to day 5 of the quarantine. So today, once you of course have gotten through your general warm-ups, as you should do every single time, don't forget the minute of jumping jacks at the end either, Taylor Lowe. And once you get through that, we're going to do a circuit, and for that circuit, we're going to involve ShARCS, the short arc rotator cuff series, your walkouts and your corrective squats, and then we're also going to do some twisted rows at the end of that. So for the ShARCS, we're going to do 20 reps for the first round, 16 for the second round, and 12 for the third round. And then you're going to increase the resistance each time by standing further and further away from your connection points. For the walkouts and the corrective squats, we're going to do 6 on the first round, 4 on the second round, 3 on the third round. And each of those is going to be done with first 2, then 3, then 4 push-ups. And you can work in some push-up variations if you want. The corrective squats will follow those same reps. And then after that, the twisted rows are going to be just 12 reps each time. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the short arc rotator cuff series with the ShARCS, I'm just going to run through real quick and demo that. So the first move, you're going to grab with the palm up here. And this is internal rotation. You're going to grab your hand between your elbow and your ribs to help give you a little bit of contact so that you know that you're rotating at the correct spot. And then short arc means not a lot of range of motion. So you're going to go 15 degrees out, 15 degrees in. You can imagine the 130 and the 1030 on a face clock if you guys still remember what that is. So just smooth and control. Go through the full range of motion. Control it both ways. Don't let it bounce around, right? After that, you're going to do external rotation. Same range of motion, but the resistance is applied to the opposite side of the shoulder joint. So you go through that. Then you're going to do, we'll do adduction next. So you're following 15 degrees again. Straight arm, palm is facing in. You're going to go from 15 degrees out to 0 degree, which should be right over your front pocket where you're keeping your wallet, right here. Next, go abduction, same range of motion, resistance on the opposite side, of course. Then we'll do shoulder flexion here. Thumb should be up, 25 degrees out, like you're reaching out to shake somebody's hand. Remember before COVID when you used to do that? You're gonna pull there. Let's go 25 degrees out to 5 degrees back. So imagine putting the tip of your thumb just at your side seam right there. And then we're gonna do shoulder extension right here. Or sorry, I switched it, this is flexion. And then you're going right up here, 5 degrees back to 25 degrees forward. And then the last things that you'll do here, you grab 2 bands. And this is a movement specifically for your teres minor. Just gonna rotate back here, goalposts, just keeping the elbows in one spot. And then we'll do a reverse fly to finish that up here. Again, elbows tucked into the side. This is really a double external rotation, but when you do it with the 2 hands, you're gonna really feel the muscles in the middle of your back engage a little bit more, all right? From there, you got your walkouts, you got your corrective squats like I described, and then the twisted row. For the twisted row, we're gonna step back. You're gonna take a split leg position with your front foot being the closer leg, because when you rotate in a lunge, you want to rotate over that front leg. And then here's your row right here. It's really not a lot of resistance. It's more to destabilize the lunge, and you just want to keep yourself in a really nice balanced position. You can go ahead and switch sides. Now into the main work. So we're going to use the kettlebell to start here. First thing we're going to do is going to be a single leg deadlift. So you're going to work the single leg deadlift, and then right after, you're going to go into cleans on the same side. So I'm going to start with my right side. I'll do 10 on the deads. From here, I'm going to start with the weight in my hand so I can set my balance. I'm going to pivot on that hip joint, take the weight down, bring it back up, smooth down, hold that balance, and then speed, control on the way up, all the way back up, squeeze the glutes. Opposite foot should contact the ground when you come back to the top. Again, you're gonna lean, maintain your balance, touch the ground, come right back up nice and smooth. I finish up 10 of those, I go right into cleans. Same side, same reps, 10 reps. From there, I'll go and do the opposite side, 10, and then 10. After that, grab my med ball, and I'm gonna go through 20 alternating hammer slams. I'm gonna pivot and accelerate that ball around the hip, up over the head. I'm gonna set myself symmetrical, drop the hips to initiate, throw the ball straight down. So there's really 3 acceleration points in this move. When I pick it up, when I swing it around my hip, and then when I slam it, it accelerates off the ground It accelerates around the hip, and it accelerates when it changes direction at the top. For the next one, we're gonna take this med ball outside so you can do some high throws. All right, for this next part, we gotta go outside because we're gonna do some squat high throws. So we're gonna do 3 different squat high throws. The first one is gonna be from the right leg, the second one from the left leg, and then the third one's gonna be 2-footed. Remember, always the goal is to throw the ball as high as you can, not as far as you can, as high as you can. But when I'm doing those single legs especially, I wanna jump forward because I wanna make sure that I'm getting this kind of hip extension into my throw. So when I do the right leg, it's gonna look like this. Make sure you're balanced. Just jump forward just a little bit. Opposite side, same thing. Get balanced. And then, last thing, go with the 2-hand high throw. And there you have it. All right, welcome back. So once you get back inside, toss that med ball away. We're gonna finish up with just 2 push-ups. We're gonna do, 2 styles of push-ups. We're gonna do 10 cobra push-ups into 5 planche push-ups. So the planche that we do is gonna actually be kind of a modified planche to make it a little bit easier, but we're just gonna work a different range of motion through the shoulder. So what we do here for the cobra push-up, this is kind of like a yoga push-up. Actually, I think people call this a yoga push-up sometimes. So I'm gonna come up into this kind of downward dog position. If I gotta bend my knees to keep my hips tilted back, that's fine. I don't wanna be straight legs and rounded out here. I wanna get the hips up. I wanna try to extend through the shoulder a little bit more to get into that stacked position. So I'll be right here in this position, and then I wanna pretend like I'm going underneath like a fence or something like that. So I'm gonna bring myself down to the ground, press through, and up. It's not really much of a push-up in the traditional sense where I'm not pushing my weight with my chest, and then I'm gonna press back into this position. So again, and you can stretch here, my toes are touching the ground. It's just my toes and my hand that I'm on right now. And then I switch back, and then again. I like to take an extra breath in there just to help me release a little bit more. So then we're gonna go into the planche push-up. So for this one, what you wanna do, you're gonna set your hands right underneath your shoulders and then bring your body out forward just a little bit. This is why it's modified. You don't wanna put too much extreme pressure on your wrists here. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lower myself down and a little bit forwards. And the goal here is to keep the forearm perpendicular to the ground. And when I press up, I go back straight up the same way. I don't want to go back into this, right? So I'm trying to keep my hips in line. Heels, hips, the shoulders all in line. Get myself just forwards just a little bit. Lower myself down, keep the elbows in tight, press up. We're just gonna do those for 5 reps. All right, folks, so after you finish all that main work, we're gonna finish up with some high intensity here. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go through 3 rounds of proprietary Gator Swim Club ZioFIT Tabata round. That's right, you love this Tabata round, you can't get enough. Well, great, you're doing 3 rounds. In between the first and the second round, take 90 seconds rest. In between the second and the third round, take 2 minutes rest. Make sure you put maximum intensity into each thing that you do. So instead of going through the entire thing right here, I'm just gonna go through each move. I'm just gonna do 10 seconds of each move, but to compensate for the fact that I'm only doing half the work, I'm also not gonna take any rest. So here we go, starts with max push-ups. Just go push-ups for speed. As many as I can do in 20 seconds. Then you go into up downs, smooth, fast, good range of motion. Don't leave the hips up in the air. Stretch your hip flexors out on the jump. From there, sprint set and mountain climbers. Work fast, full range, keep the hips low. Keep the hips low, drive the knees up. From here, burpees. Remember, 8 is great. If you can get 8 in 20 seconds, you're in really good shape. From there, we'll let the heart rate come down a little bit. You're gonna go through pentagram lunges. You should get through 2 rounds in 20 seconds. If you take a little bit longer than 20 seconds, that's fine, but make sure that you're done before your 30 seconds is up, so you got time to catch your breath before you get to the last thing. Sprint in place. High knees, drive the foot into the ground. And then high tuck, jumps for the finish. Take your rest, get through 2 more rounds, and then have a drink of water, because that took a lot out of me.